Slightly different, more dramatic ending.
More dramatic.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to our discussion on Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Sea of Monsters, aka Season 2, Book 2.
Yep.
Movie 2.
Movie 2.
But yeah, we're gonna be jumping right in. Matt, first of all, for the viewers out there that might be new, you are
I'm a
massive fan. Would you say?
Yeah,
Big fan?
I'm a big fan of Rick Riordan.
Harry Potter, Percy Jackson.
It's different because I read Harry Potter books later. Like,
So
I didn't grow up on Harry
you
Potter.
grew up
I
reading
grew up
Percy Jackson.
more on Percy Jackson.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, when I got into Percy Jackson, the last Olympian came out. So the final book of the first series.
So obviously,
So
ecstatic that that there's a season 2 for one,
yeah,
and that we're spoiler, but there's a season 3.
and they're writing season 4 right now. So it's just it's
There's
hopes and
smooth sailing.
dreams. There's
Smooth sailing.
exactly. Hopefully we get to season 5, which I'm sure we will, based on the story of season 3 alone. Should
And
hopefully
the confidence
push us.
of the actors. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, they're kids, so.
But also the
could be a little
confidence of Rick
naivety.
Riordan.
But it seems like they're confident they're going to be covering at least potentially post just the original series.
Yeah, I don't want to get my hopes up for that,
But that's the better part.
but that would be the better part. But also, I'm just trying to think. I'm like, the actor for Percy Jackson's going to be a lot older, so
They need
that's
to
a
rip
little,
through.
Yeah, so I'm happy from the production side of Percy Jackson. The fact that they're doing it the way Harry Potter should have done it, where it's like, and Stranger Things, it's year by year by year. So like, they have like 6 months on to shoot, 6 months off. So they're gradually aging at an okay pace.
I think Harry Potter's was okay because they didn't. Well, one, they got lucky with the way the the actual actors aged,
Yes, for sure.
but they all still are, for the most part, pretty fitting for
Yeah,
their age for most of it. Obviously, when you start to get to the later films, that's when you're starting to be like, it's hard to believe maybe he's only, because I can't remember, what's Harry supposed to be, like
18.
17-ish?
Yeah, 17
turning
going on 18.
on to an adult.
Yeah.
It's still believable for
Yeah,
them, but it's not nowhere near as bad as Stranger
No,
Things.
definitely not. But even like with Percy Jackson, I was a little worried because obviously he hit puberty through production of season 1
Well,
and
and
season
he had a
2.
big growth spurt. It wasn't like,
Yeah, he's like a good foot and a half taller than Annabeth.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
it
But
is funny.
um
But yeah, so obviously spoilers ahead for season 2. We'll
Yeah.
just be covering, well, generally the season, things that maybe were different from the books that we liked, things that maybe been different that we disliked, things we just disliked overall.
yeah,
Matt also threw in some things from the comparison because he decided to watch the movie.
I watched the movie and read the book.
So
So
yeah, let's without further ado, let's dive in, Matt. Season 2. I feel like there were a lot more changes than season 1 had from the original source material.
I will agree. There was like some big scenes that were taken out of the book that were put into the show. That weren't in the show, and also vice versa. And some new characters that weren't in the book got added.
We'll
But
see if they end up adding more. I don't feel like they added too much to this season. Where
no,
like you could take them out and it made no difference. But maybe they'll have a bigger impact later.
they could be. They could, yeah.
But overall, I feel like most of the changes were pretty good. Mostly there for just pacing, I think, right? Because there's only eight episodes.
8 episodes to cover an entire book.
So you got to cut out some stuff. And I thought, especially if we're jumping right in on initial thoughts, your initial thoughts come from the first episode.
Yeah,
And first episode, I'm thinking, oh, we're going back to school. We're gonna have to see Percy be the classic, like
bully.
he's bad,
getting bullied. Yeah,
and things look like he's bad on the outside, but really he's not doing anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I thought we were gonna get the classic fireball dodgeball.
Part of me wanted to see that scene, but
that's what I was
kind
expecting.
of okay that we didn't.
I kind of liked how they still paid homage to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But we jump more right into let's get Percy to camp. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's Tyson. He's been here the whole time with
Yeah,
Percy.
he's already here.
Yeah.
He wasn't homeless the day before, kind
They
of
made
thing.
it. To be fair, in the books, it's like Percy can't recognize that Tyson is
So Percy and his mom don't realize that he's a Cyclops originally.
But then the whole point in season 1 is they both see through the mist, and Percy's mom is pretty good at seeing through the mist.
yeah,
So it's kind of fitting that they shouldn't go backwards.
yeah. The way they write it in the book is that Percy, like, because Tyson's
almost like
usually
He almost
is
refused
taller.
to believe it too. Is like
Yeah,
part of it,
because
right?
he didn't want to look at him too much because he was obviously like previously homeless, so he was stinky and he was kind of like rough looking, and he like Tyson always had his hat kind of
Percy
down.
never looked at him.
Yeah,
was
he
the
was
way
like,
it was
yeah,
explained.
that's who I hang out with, but never like fully looked. But it was also in the book, he only knows him for like a day and a half.
That's true. He's not there for long.
No, but I do enjoy what they did in the show of making his mom already being able to fully see through the mist.
I like that too. Yeah,
That was a good little just like
it just makes sense.
it just happens. It's a thing. We accept it. And just that she's like, yeah, we just have a teenage Cyclops living with us. That's cool. That's chill.
well, because she's such a good person.
She is
right?
such a good actress. She plays the mom dynamic
so very
really well.
Yeah, the car ride near the later of
yeah.
the season was great. But yeah, she plays the character very well, and it just comes off very. She just cares.
Yeah,
and I love the little bit of it's kind of like cliche. I'm sure a lot of people realize. Oh, Percy doesn't exactly like having Tyson around, but then later in the season, you're like, but he'll come to love him.
He'll come
and realize-
around. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it really is his brother, right? And obviously that's what happens.
But to be fair, that come to brother moment hits in the show. I
It's
think.
very well done.
Like as soon as Tyson has two good moments in the last episode. Where he stops Luke from attacking Percy using like a trident kind of thing, which is good. And then just the little speech he has with Percy and Poseidon when he's like, no, like you're my brother. Like this is all I wanted. Like I wanted a friend. Then I got a brother. And you're like, whew.
Yeah, that one hit hard when he said that.
Good line. Yeah.
I also liked when he comes back when they all get shipwrecked and don't know where everyone went.
He comes back at a good moment. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I thought the actor for Tyson was also great.
Yes.
I think maybe that could also show because I know that he's older.
Yeah.
He's like mid-20s. So, because this is a part of the problem when you do shows that are obviously or books that are based on children, is so acting is something that you get better at for the most part with age,
with time,
experience,
with age, experience. Yeah.
right? Like those prodigies. With the
children prodigy actors.
Like, the kid actors who usually don't even end up doing stuff later, but were amazing when they're kids. Like, those are like not, common. Those are rarities.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I think a lot of the kids in the show are still a bit rough around the edges for the most part. I think definitely a lot better than season 1.
Yeah.
And that goes for both their own scenes as well as on-screen chemistry was a lot better. I thought if we're picking from the kids, I think Clarice was actually one of the better actors. I think both the way that she was written in comparison to the book, as well as just her scenes in general. I just thought that she had a better on-screen presence than, say, Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Annabeth is better.
She's gotten better from season 1. I do agree with that. But definitely as a female actress, I think Clarice definitely takes the...
Yeah, and I thought that maybe that also could be due to the changes. Like she was in the books, I can't tolerate her character.
But that's the point, I guess.
It's definitely the point is to make her like sandpaper, but it's also from Percy's point of view.
Exactly. It's kind of infected with Percy's like perception of her.
Which is bad. He doesn't like her. But in this, obviously, we're seeing so much more outside of just Percy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see enough of her and just some of the decisions that she makes that are a lot less selfish compared to the book.
Yeah. Well, even the big one that we can discuss is that in the book, it's just mentioned that she had a conversation with her dad. Her dad gave her the boat. That's it. And then obviously we see the boat later on in the book. But in the show, we actually see the conversation she has with her dad.
Yep.
We get to meet the crew a little bit. Like we see.
And she cares about the undead.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was good. Overall, what did you think of the set design again, character designs?
I thought Camp Happa looked good. I mean, costume designs.
I think the costume designs are one of the better parts.
Yeah, I would agree.
Think the effects are not the best in some cases, but then you can kind of tell where budget goes.
Yeah, I will say I was pleasantly surprised with the Cyclopses.
Yeah,
I
thought Tyson
was shocked actually.
Tyson looked decent.
Yeah, I was watching some interviews on how they did the special effects for him, and they obviously just shot him regularly and everything like that. And then what they did in post is they actually like fused his eyes together.
Yeah.
But he was also using like these glasses because his big thing is like, if I have one eye, where am I supposed to look? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he actually had like these glasses on set that like pushed his peripherals out so he could only look in one direction, which was kind of neat. Yeah, special effects for the Cyclops were great. The production design for Polytheus,
Yep.
he was really good. Fun fact, that actor played a Cyclops in the movie. Like
Oh,
Sea of
okay,
Monsters,
cool.
just a random one-off. I don't know if it was a Cyclops or a monster, but anyways, the Grey Sisters looked good.
Yeah, they were funny. I like that they were still
Um,
in the
taxi.
taxi and
Yeah.
brought them there. Camp
Yeah.
Half-Blood.
But yeah, I think some of the CGI was not best. Like, I was kind of surprised about how bad the Golden Fleece looked in comparison to everything else.
It did not look great. I wonder. I don't even know if that was CG. I think that was just practical.
I think it was just a
effect.
practical, yeah.
But it didn't look good.
Yeah.
It didn't give me the idea that this is some like
Magical item.
yeah, like
that
Greek
is one.
Greek mythology
Yeah.
item, where you're like, oh yeah, that is like this.
The Golden Fleece.
Yeah,
Like,
it didn't give that vibe. It
Yeah.
almost looked like the fake one that
yeah, Polyamous uses.
to
Yeah.
bait. You're just like, didn't like that.
Yeah.
I liked all the armor. The armor and stuff looked good. Cinematography.
Nothing really
nothing really-
stands out.
yeah. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
We got different angles.
We'll say special effects on the water too, like on the boat scenes. I thought that was really good because I feel like sometimes you like in those scenes when they're like using water as a special effect, you can really feel that you're like, yeah, this is just in a green screen room.
Yeah, I see what you're
But-
saying.
Yeah, nothing
Um,
crazy about cinematography, nothing crazy about music or OST.
Yeah, they're all
Like
just
it all
kinda-
fit the
it all worked.
vibe. Like,
Nothing insane.
Yeah.
The overall plot, I mean, we start off with Percy getting a vision of his boy Grover being taken.
Yep.
We learn that they have a link that becomes more important even later in the story. And basically it's like Percy's like, how can I save my friend? I need to get and Grover was looking for the Golden Fleece. He was baited to the island because basically Polyphemus likes eating satyrs.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he likes eating anything.
goats in general specifically, but yeah, and then the Golden Fleece smells like Pan, which is obviously all the satyrs' goal in life is to
find
find
'em.
Pan. So using the Golden Fleece attracts the satyrs, which is just bonus for.
And then Percy gets to
Polyphemus.
Camp Half-Blood, and it's under attack, and Thalia's tree gets poisoned by Luke because
Yep, because he's crazy.
he's bad. He's a bad, bad boy.
Yeah, Chiron's nowhere to be found.
Oh, yep.
Centaur MIA, replaced by King Tantalus from the underworld,
From
who
the
has been
Underworld.
put on a curse where he cannot eat anything, and he's just chilling because he's like, maybe if I'm here long enough, I can.
And he
eat
doesn't like
again.
any of the
Half-Bloods.
yeah,
Doesn't
he
care.
doesn't like any of the demis. And basically we get to the point where we need to get a quest. We gotta
Yeah.
get a quest, and then it's not Percy that gets chosen for the quest.
Clarice.
Clarice gets picked, and then I really liked the scene where they had Clarice picking who she needed to grab.
Yep.
Or they're like, okay, pick 2 more people, and she looks at Annabeth, and she's like, okay, well, I may not be Annabeth's biggest fan, but Annabeth's smart, so I'm gonna take
Exactly.
her. And then Percy's like, pick me, and then she actually is like going to pick Percy because she's like, I hate him, or I have a strong dislike
Yep.
towards him, but I understand that he's experienced. He is a good fighter. He is also, I mean, a son of one of the top
The
3
big
gods.
3,
So
yeah.
I mean, you're like, okay. And then obviously the betrayal happens with her being told off and being like by Annabeth being like, no, don't bring Percy.
Because Annabeth knows what the Great Prophecy is.
Yeah, at this point Percy does not.
And then she tries to pick. Is it Chris Rodriguez? Is that what the character's name is?
Yeah, I think so.
I think, yeah. He gets picked, and then she changes her mind and was like, I'm going by myself.
Which then
afterwards.
it's not really a
but-
quest, right?
That's not really a
technically.
quest. But then, in theory, does it then become a quest again? Because
it is all 3. That's
it is
what-
all 3 ends up showing
But
up.
also,
technicalities
Yeah.
on quests. Am I right?
yeah,
Prophecies.
the prophecies are they're so funny because they're like, if you just, and I understand that this is the point. Like, if you take it literally, you're like, okay, this is what this means. But then you can just do such clever writing to be like, see, it ended up being completely accurate.
And it always does.
In a
That's the
messed up
whole
way.
point in the book, right? I mean, you look at the Lightning Thief when you're reading the book of like, a friend will betray you, kind of thing like that, and you're like, oh, it was fine because the betrayal was the Ares and everything like that. And then Luke literally stabs him,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
Oh,
there it
makes sense.
is.
The
There
betrayal's
it
there.
is.
But yeah, so there's some shenanigans that end up happening. Basically, we end up going on what's essentially the Odyssey, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point, because each book in the original series is based off a different Greek hero. Fun fact.
So here we are, Odysseus.
Yes.
We basically conquer. Did we go through the entire Odyssey?
No, we skip a couple things because we don't see Calypso.
No, you're right. We don't see
Calypso
Calypso.
comes later.
But we did a good chunk of it, and we just see how these young heroes both reference the Odyssey to try and use it to their advantage and trying to get, and they don't use it intelligently because obviously that would be too perfect because basically there's a blueprint right there of how to get through
the Sea of Monsters, but we'll figure out if we want to go against which giant sea monster, but it's fine.
And then obviously Luke gets in the way at times.
Classic.
And we get the Golden Fleece. We fight a Cyclops. We leave. I thought the leaving was not as... I remember it being... Now, you've obviously read the second book.
Yes.
I remember the leaving being a lot more intense.
Yeah, so that is one of the... I will say the last 2 episodes of the show is where they really differ from the book. Because in the book, what ends up happening is Luke doesn't make it to the island at all. Fun fact. What ends up happening is Clarice still gets kidnapped by Polytheus. And then they go save, and then they grab the Golden Fleece, and then they end up going back to the Princess Andromeda, like Luke's ship kind of thing like that. All Polytheus is trying to like throw things and trying to attack them and stuff. And
yeah, he's throwing stuff at them. And isn't it like Clarice is the reason that they end up, their ship gets destroyed or something? Because she like starts fighting back when she didn't need to do anything.
Yeah, and then they jump on the Hippocampi and they end up in Miami, and it's a whole thing. But
okay, so definitely took that whole section out. I was kind of looking forward to the Cyclops running and throwing shit at them.
Yeah, exactly.
But
they did that. They did that as a reference earlier when they get the boat from Hermes to go to Princess Andromeda, where they have King Tantalus throwing stuff at them.
Yeah,
because in the book it's supposed to be harpies that are looking for them.
Okay,
because that's the one like Camp Half-Blood difference that we don't see in the show is the harpies that are hanging out at the camp and they do all the cleaning at the end of the summer and they're like. But
that's valid. Then obviously we get to the end where there was a massive change. The big fun end is that Thalia is healed.
Yeah.
Not just the tree is healed, but she comes back to the world of the living as a human.
Yes.
I guess would be the appropriate.
Polymorphed back into her human self, but did not age.
Correct. So she is still on the verge of being 16.
Yes.
Which lines up with a certain other character within this story.
Who's a
named
couple
Percy.
years away. But yes, the big difference there is obviously in the book, she got turned into a tree because she was injured and Zeus wanted to save her from going to the underworld. So he transformed her into a tree. That's what happens in the book.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
In the show.
And it's for her friends still. Like, it's to save her friends.
Exactly.
Which still is not untrue. She still was there fighting to save her friends. But then, boom, boom. It's actually that she and her dad
defied her father.
They do not have, they're not seeing eye to eye. More fitting, though, for her character.
Yes.
Honestly. Like, it's kind of funny. I think I saw a clip where someone was discussing how Luke was right. Like, she would just be on Luke's side. And part of me is kind of like that kind of could be true, but we just don't know enough about her at this point to, especially in the show. Like, you don't know what side she would really pick, because she comes off from someone who's read the books as someone who would do anything for her friends, and not because she's, I'm Zeus's daughter and I'm strong but just because she's a good person.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm powerful and I'm gonna save you, but that's just the way she is. I don't think they did a good job of setting up any part where, why would she be on Half-Blood though for the show?
Yeah.
I think that's the only downside of this change. The change makes more sense for her character where, her and her dad don't see eye to eye, and it kind of creates that rift, which then makes you think, okay, is this prophecy about Percy or is it about her? Because Percy doesn't seem to have as big of issues with his dad, or any at all at this point.
Yes.
Where we are seeing some major issues with a daughter of Zeus, and she's close to being 16. This is about her, and obviously we're trying to work towards, okay, maybe it's not Percy. But we haven't given much reason as to why she wouldn't just automatically join Luke.
Yeah, that's I think it's going to be the small hiccup, and obviously I think the deciding factor will be Annabeth and Grover. Like they really have to try it, but knowing what happens in the third book, slight spoiler, I guess, she is going to be part of the quest for the next book.
Yeah, she's going to play
So-
an absolutely pivotal role in the third book.
Yeah,
And there's obviously some other significant things that we don't want to say, but
we're
will
getting some
happen.
fun new characters next season.
yeah. I just really resonate with the person who was like, yeah, I don't know, like, what's her reasoning for joining Hap? Like, is it, but she was with Luke far longer than Annabeth.
Yeah.
and so we'll see. Is in the books, has she already been to Camp Half-Blood, or is that also still her first time when she goes?
No, I think she's made it to Camp Half-Blood in the past.
Because at least my perception from the TV show is that those three had never been to Camp Half-Blood yet.
No,
That was
no.
their first time getting there.
In the show, Luke talks about how he doesn't like Camp Half-Blood.
Okay.
He mentions that he's not a fan of it, and it's like no bueno kind of thing like that.
Okay. Because maybe that's, you could argue, is the reason. If she's already been technically there, then she could have a relationship with people already, with Kyron and stuff. Maybe could help convince her to stay or not do anything crazy, rash.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading up. Yeah, so she doesn't go to, she never makes it to camp in general.
Right.
Like in the book.
In the book, she doesn't make
Yeah.
it. Okay.
She meets Luke, they run away from a bunch of monsters, and then they find Grover, and then the Furies come after her, and then they find
Then right at camp, basically.
yeah, they find Annabeth, and then whole shebang.
Okay. Yeah, she's a complicated character.
But a fun one.
Fun one for sure. OP.
Yeah. Excited to see her weapon.
Yeah, true. What are some of the positives then that you had from the show overall?
Obviously, like we said, the Cyclops looked great.
Mhm.
I was pleasantly surprised. I was a little worried, especially watching the movie. Just the way they saved budget on the Cyclops in the movie was kind of cringe.
So I've seen a lot of clips from the movie,
Yeah.
and I've also seen a lot of people defending the movie.
Like,
And I can actually see why now after seeing some clips. If you watched both Percy Jackson films before ever reading the Percy Jackson books,
I know where you're going
right?
with this. Yes.
As far as just like generic, cool, actiony films, they're
Totally
not
fine.
the worst.
Yeah.
They're pretty fine.
They're totally
It's-
fine if you don't know the
The
source
issue
material.
comes to the source material, right?
Yeah.
Where they are just so poor.
Adapted.
Yeah, they're just very poor
Yeah.
adaptations of it. But you could also argue without that movie, there'd probably be a lot less Percy fans because I think a lot of people ended up reading the books because of that.
Yeah, no, it's a fun little circle.
Yeah, you almost have to like detach yourself and be like,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this film as its own thing, not as a Percy Jackson thing.
Exactly.
Like, oh, this is just a movie that has Greek mythology elements
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
just inspired.
And I will say the
Bye.
action and fight choreography is infinitely better in the movie. For the most part.
Physical fighting, yes. The clip I sent you, no.
No. That clip is crazy.
Yeah.
If Percy theoretically could do
Could
that at the
casually
time.
surf, yeah.
Like just control water
Yeah,
and basically
followed by
waterbend.
Luke somehow water bending as well. But
Like it looks cool.
yeah.
But this jumps into one of my negatives of the show, which is I think overall I understand that it's a show targeted towards a younger audience. The books are obviously targeted towards kids,
Yes.
but so is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And the Harry Potter movies even from the start they're a bit gritty at times.
Yeah.
I just don't dislike how some of the fighting especially for a story that revolves around Greek mythology and ancient Greece with a lot of fighting with straight up weapons, and the kids are using these swords and shields and whatnot. There's just the fighting is so bad.
Yeah.
And it's not just the fighting's bad. There's like no injuries. Like I don't know if you paid close attention to that battle at the top of the hill by Thalia's tree, where there's people
Yeah.
that are just like almost just punching people. It almost gave me. Now I love the Batman trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, but like the combat is just like guy just leans over and lets Batman like elbow him. It was giving off those kind of vibes.
That is fair. I mean, for me, like the fight scenes were kind of meh, but then I look at some of the fight scenes, like the fight scene at the end between Luke and Percy was good
It's
with Tyson.
it's better.
But then I also think about the fight scene between Clarice and Percy, and that was really meh.
Yeah, and on the fight on the boat
Yeah,
on what's the ship called?
Princess Andromeda.
The Princess Andromeda. Those fights were also kind of like,
Yeah,
and also this one's more nitpicky, but we see Clarice makes that decision to go save Annabeth, which was also pretty cool. Very good development of her character.
yes,
for the TV show.
Yep.
Where initially she's like, "No, I'm doing my
yeah.
quest."
My quest is this.
And
Screw you all.
Then her and Percy end up pulling a
Switcheroo.
switcheroo there.
Yep.
And we see that there's the new female character with the bow.
Allison Sims.
She has the bow drawn at Clarice. We cut to seeing Percy for a bit. Then we cut back, and all of a sudden Clarice is like fighting her in melee range. I'm like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to describe. I guess it's not that hard. It's these kids pretend that they're not kids. Pretend that
they're trained.
They're trained like militia.
But then you can also argue that she left camp like a few years before, so she doesn't have as much training.
She knows to obviously not let someone who has a sword / spear get into melee range of her when she has a bow.
Yep, I agree.
So I just thought that like some elements like that are just, and we're not the target audience.
No, we're not.
As much as growing up with Percy Jackson, you could argue, I put in my notes that it's kind of like being a Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
You know, where we've complained about Pokemon games. We're like, it's not as they're not.
It's not complicated, but
there's other issues with them, like when we come to graphics and whatnot. But his overall story is always so simple because it's a kid's game.
Yeah, it's not meant for us.
It's not meant for us. Even though you grew up with Pokemon your whole life and you love Pokemon, it's still targeted towards that kid you used to be.
Exactly. Will that stop me from watching it? No.
Right, and that's the same with I think with Percy Jackson, especially this TV show where it's definitely targeted towards a younger audience.
Yeah.
I just wish that maybe it got the Star Wars level budget that Star Wars has been getting for Disney Plus, and was just maybe pushed up a couple age groups just to make the fights more real feeling and dramatic. Just because they look a little bit too fake. I guess.
do think with the hype of season 1 and the hype of season 2 and how well it's being well received, I think season 3 will get a larger budget.
I feel like the argument can be made that it thoroughly deserves more budget than any of the Star Wars content, right? Like at this point,
the story's at least
especially with a new Harry Potter TV show coming out. Like, do you not want to compete with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what a perfect
pump this out.
What a perfect time to be like all in on Percy Jackson. Be like, no, this is the cool magic-y.
This is what you want to watch,
right? This is the cool magic world you want to be seeing within our real world. You don't want to see the wizarding world.
That's over. Yeah. I will say, I didn't really care for Allison Sims. She was just kind of like, I feel like she was kind of
so
there
weird
just
to be a named character, right? Like, why couldn't she just be Camper B that left camp?
Yeah.
Why did she have to be a
Allison,
named character?
Ooh.
It just felt like she didn't add much. I guess closer to the end, you get the idea that she's kind of on to Luke being like, oh, no, if Luke can be trusted.
Yeah, if he fails, I'll take care of it kind of thing.
That's where I was scared. I was scared that we were going to get a really significant change where maybe Luke took a really big backseat for a bit, and that would have felt
That would have been. I don't think Rick Riordan would have allowed that personally.
Just because of how important his character is through the whole story.
Luke is pivotal in the story.
But why else would she be a named character, right? Yeah. I just didn't care for her. She didn't feel like she was needed.
Yeah.
In that sense, but maybe we'll see. Maybe she'll end up playing some sort of role. I have here, this one's just not really a true negative, but I was sad about it. And that's that Blackjack didn't talk.
Didn't even get named, but to be fair, he doesn't.
No, he got named.
Does he get named?
Yeah, he gets named.
Okay, thank God.
I think he gets named when they're in his mom's car, and he's like, "That's Blackjack. I know him."
Yeah, it's fine. I know him, Mom. It's okay.
And he's like, "Oh, yeah, he knows him." But I was expecting. I don't know. I guess part of me was just hoping for some ridiculous voice.
Yeah.
But also, it was even weirder because the horse literally just is there. doesn't neigh, doesn't make any noise, and Percy's just chatting with him via
Tel- telepathic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, the book, Percy's point of view, makes sense that we would just know what the horse is saying. But it was weird.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's how it feels when Annabeth and them are just looking at Percy, looking at
And you're like,
pretending pretending to
fair.
talk to a horse, and they're like,
Maybe.
yeah, you're talking to him.
Right.
Good job.
Yeah, that's such a fun little nitpick though, but in a good way. Like I can see it. But maybe we'll get him to talk in season 3. Maybe it wasn't in the budget.
Maybe he was just a little shy.
Yeah, maybe he was just a little shy. He didn't
little
trust
shy.
Percy quite yet, you know?
But yeah, that one's definitely more of like I was kind of looking forward to hearing Blackjack, because
Yeah.
in the books he's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, boss, what do you need, boss?
Yeah, come on, boss. Where are we going?
Like, I think he's a really fun. He adds like
A comedic.
a little bit of ridiculous comedic relief, but it's nice. It's funny. Yeah, that's pretty much for my negatives. I had that the fleece didn't look as good as I kind of was maybe expecting it to look. The choreography for the fights was a bit weak, and just that overall, I feel like maybe it's a bit too on the childish side of a lot less blood than perhaps you would expect to see with a bunch of kids in ancient Greek gear fighting each other would look like.
Yeah, I don't really have too many other negatives. Even like comparing it to the book overall, there's nothing like drastic where I'm like, I can't believe they changed that of all things.
Yeah.
Like I think for everything that they changed, they definitely made it okay because of the pacing of the show.
Yeah, I think generally most changes were definitely made to make it flow better.
Yes.
And then the changes that weren't there to make the flow better, it was to improve upon a character
Yeah.
that maybe doesn't get enough development in the book because we only see it from Percy Jackson's point of view, or just that maybe Rick Riordan was like, you know what? If I could go back, this is what I would change about this character, and this is the chance to do it.
Exactly. Because obviously,
Because he's there.
He's there. He's in the writer's room. He's on set half the time. Like, he's able to help out and things. He didn't have a cameo this season, I don't believe. He did have a cameo in season 1. He had a statue of himself in Auntie M's Garden Emporium.
Oh, nice.
And then he was one of the teachers at the Auntie Academy at the beginning.
Okay.
But I don't think he had a cameo. If he did, I did not see it.
Maybe. I didn't notice it either if he did.
Yeah.
But it's good that he's involved. Obviously, writing a show, a lot different than writing a first-person POV.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more characters to consider how we, the audience, will be seeing them.
Exactly.
So, but overall, I would say it was well done, and I'm happy that we're done the Sea of Monsters because, in my opinion, it's one of my least favorite
book. Yeah.
And on to it's basically all gas now.
It's all gas. I mean, Titan's Curse is my favorite book of the first series. So
yeah, we're about to cook.
We're gonna get introduced to some like brand new characters because we're gonna get in. Actually, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
But we're gonna meet some integral characters.
Yeah, we're getting introduced to at least 4 new characters that I can think of on the top of my head
that are all gonna play a very important role within Percy's story.
Yes.
But yeah, overall, I would say enjoyment was very solid. A lot of changes, but overall good changes.
Yeah.
Hard to say which season I liked more. I think season 1 was also very solid. And just I'm excited for season 3. Even more excited that it's this year that we'll be getting it, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think it's very smart marketing wise to do it because we're getting the final book in the sequel trilogy of Percy. So having that come out around the same time as season 3, I think will definitely just give it enough gas in the Percy Jackson sphere to be like, all right, season 4 is done writing. Let's start shooting it. Let's greenlight season 5.
Yep,
so,
true. Well, maybe there might also be some hype off the Odyssey.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Right? So people will be like, oh, the Odyssey, that was awesome. What's that? Oh, Greek mythology? What else is Greek? Oh, there's a show on Disney Plus.
Let's go watch it. Yeah.
Which is always fun. I mean, obviously we're biased. I think the Greek and Roman, both Roman and Greek mythologies are fun to follow along with and see the stories unfold on the screen.
Definitely.
So definitely excited for that. What are your final thoughts and enjoyment levels for season 2, Matt?
I mean, I'm interested to see what they do with Talia moving forward because, like you said, it seems that she could be more on Luke's side than Percy's side. I think the flow of the show was done a little bit better than the book.
Yeah.
I think because I think it is tough, obviously, to when you're writing from a book that's first person to a third person narrative
Yeah.
visually is tough, right?
Well,
So
and I imagine for Rick, like he's so used to being like, this is how Percy sees things. This is
exactly.
how, because that's how he wrote. That's how he writes the whole story. This is how Percy sees this. This is how Percy sees that.
Yeah.
This is how Percy sees this person.
Exactly. So now we need to do a non.
It's like, how do you want the audience to see them though?
Exactly.
But also still tell you that maybe Percy doesn't like them. You need to still, both things are still
Yeah.
important, right? So,
Yeah, I think I'm excited for season 3. It was a great show. I mean, if you're a fan of the books, if you're not a fan of the books, still give the show a watch. I mean, I did make a list of like some big differences that were in the book that weren't in the show. If we want to go through that, we can.
yeah, rip through.
I mean, like we said, the opening scene happens at a high school before they make it to camp in the book.
Good change.
Good change. Grover is abducted by Polytheus at a bridal boutique.
I don't hate it. It's
Don't
fun,
hate
fun
that.
little.
Fun little thing, but
Yeah.
kind of happy they didn't do it for that one. In the book, Percy didn't know that Tyson was Cyclops or that, like, and that he was like homeless and stuff like that. That was okay. I like the idea of the mom already knowing and that they were
I
all,
think overall, good change is skipping that and just
Yeah.
having him be there and be like, yeah, he's been here for a bit,
yeah, we're chilling.
and we're
Everything's
kind
cool.
of a family. Like,
Exactly.
good change.
They fight metal bulls. That's not in the show. Which is it's a really cool scene in the book, but also they kind of mix it together with the Canadians throwing the cannonballs
yeah,
with
yeah.
the, like, you know. So I'm okay they did that. This one I kind of wish we did was George and Martha. And for those who don't know, there's the 2 snakes that hang out with Hermes a lot.
Yep.
They're fun comedic relief when they pop up in the book series. So that's kind of the one thing I was like, oh, I wish
Yeah, it'd
we
be
got
fun to
that.
have them. It did feel like there was maybe a lack of comedic relief throughout the show overall, right?
Yeah, the outside of the blockbuster guy. I thought that was kind of funny, but it got
was
stale.
That one was
Yeah.
But yeah, they're that would be a nice little just quick joke.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be nice.
In the book, there's a Hydra battle. After they get off Luke's ship.
Hydra battle sounds expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So makes sense that they didn't. In the book, Annabeth gets tied to the boat, not Percy, because she really wants to know what the sirens would say, and like for purposes of intelligence and learning and stuff like that. But obviously in the show, Percy gets. But then Annabeth still goes to the sirens, so it's not too different.
I thought that whole scene was a bit weird with why is Percy able to save her, but then obviously he's like, oh, I only had my eyes for you.
Yeah, it's
Percy
kinda
really
cringy,
do
but-
dropping some fucking like almost straight up love confessions with his
Yeah.
lines sometimes.
Percy Beth lives on. Yeah, I think Percy, Grover, Clarice, Annabeth, Tyson steal the fleece and they ride the hippocampy, which obviously is a little bit different.
We still get to see
We still get to see Rainbow.
Yeah.
I was happy with that. The whole Miami Party Ponies
that
chapters.
that was a big miss. I missed that.
But that's also super budgety too, with like a dozen centaurs and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, could you just show their upper half and not?
No, because in the book that's how they get back to camp, not
That's
Percy's
true.
mom driving,
Yeah.
right? Which fun fact, when we see
But it also explains how Chiron gets back to camp as well.
yeah.
Where we just accept that he's there now.
You're like, oh, okay. Well, in the book too, there's Percy opens up an Iris message as Luke confesses that he was the one that poisoned the tree and that Cronus is going to come back and all that jazz.
Yeah.
That which then automatically reinstates Chiron back to the camp stuff. But with the mom in the show, when she picks him up and stuff like that, we see a bumper sticker on the back of the car that says, "I'd rather be teaching," which is a nod to a character we'll see next season for Paul Blowfish.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, because does Percy reference like where did you get this car or something?
He makes it. He's like, "Where'd you get this car from?"
Yeah.
And she kind of drops it, but Paul Blowfish,
Yeah,
will,
he'll be there.
Will be in the season, and then obviously they have the chariot races return after Chiron comes back at the end of the book. Then during the chariot races is when Tally's tree comes back to life after Annabeth and Percy win.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Slightly different, more dramatic ending.
More
for
dramatic.
the
Yeah.
TV show for sure.
Well, let me tell you about the movie.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh
Matt's
boy,
favorite.
because I watched this because I remember knowing how bad of an adaptation it was, but I needed to rewatch it for the sake of this. So obviously the big one is no Tantalus at all. even though he's such a big character in the book, he takes Chiron's position, obviously.
Yep.
Percy casually goes up to the Oracle and gets the full prophecy of like Olympus rise or fall, kind of thing like that. Obviously, because the actors were aging fast, the prophecy says 12 or 20 years, not 16.
Brilliant.
They were already old.
Brilliant change.
Luke is the one that finds Grover and sends him to Polytheus, this island.
Nice.
The only way to find the fleece is with the satyr's help, which isn't a big difference, but Clarice casually gets her own satyr that jumps on the ship, and it's really weird. There's no Scylla. They only go through the other monster, which, just like Percy, I also cannot pronounce it.
No, Scylla's weird.
But the other monster, which is like Charnabis or whatever the heck its name is, they get swallowed by it, and then they live in its stomach, and then they shoot out the side of the stomach of the monster using the army ship that Clarice has.
Okay, sure.
At the beginning of the movie, Tyson just shows up to camp by himself, calls himself Son of Poseidon, and everyone's like, all right, cool. Before they get to Luke's yacht, it's not even a ship, it's just a yacht.
Why not?
They have to meet Hermes, and they find Hermes at a UPS store. Because obviously, mailing and stuff like that. Hermes gives them still the winds from like the thermos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen clips of them using the wind.
But instead of like the vitamins or anything like that, he gives them a box cutter, and it's a magical box cutter that can cut through anything.
Nice.
Which helps them get off the ship because he just casually uses the box cutter to make a hole.
Hey, they're magical box cutters.
Yeah. There's no Hydra. There's no Circe. In fact, Circe's referenced by Circe's Island, which is an amusement park that is above the cave of Polytheus.
Oh.
Because it's just all one big island.
Okay.
So,
sure.
Yeah. So they actually end up taking like a roller coaster to the base of Polytheus's cave together. Yeah, and then they get there, and Grover's obviously still in a ride or whatever. Polytheus holds on to the golden fleece, like he just has it over his shoulder.
Polyphemus just has the fleece.
Yeah, just casually. There's no sheep at all.
Sure.
My thing about Polytheus holding onto the golden fleece is that in the book and in the show, we obviously see that the golden fleece has like healing properties and stuff like that. So by holding onto the fleece, in theory, it would heal his eye.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I would think.
Maybe.
But maybe that's just me nitpicking story points that weren't even told.
It's not on his eye.
It's not on his eye, right? Yeah. That's the issue. Randomly, while they're on the amusement park island inside the cave, Tyson somehow just casually falls off a cliff that's in the cave already.
Okay.
And then obviously comes back. But then Luke ends up getting the golden fleece because he's also at the amusement park.
Everyone's
and
there.
They have the big Kronos coffin, which just looks like a giant chest.
Yep.
And he puts the fleece over it, and Kronos rises out of the thing. And then Luke was like, "Master, I'm the one who I raised you back up." And Kronos just picks him up and eats him.
I mean, that is very Kronos-like.
It is very Kronos-like.
Fitting,
yes. And then
you do be eating gods and demigods. Why not?
Exactly. And then Luke gets eaten, obviously.
If you guys are unfamiliar, Kronos literally had all of his kids in his stomach because there was a prophecy that one of his kids would overthrow him.
Yeah. He ate Percy. He ate Poseidon, Hera, Hades, Hestia, and then pretends to eat Zeus.
Yes. Well, he gets fooled into thinking he ate Zeus
Yes.
and eats a rock instead, and then Zeus comes up and
chops him up and throws him into Tartarus, as the myth goes.
Yep.
But basically, Percy ends up chopping up Kronos because Riptide is believed to be the cursed blade, which is obviously mentioned in the Great Big Prophecy, kind of thing like that. So he casually chops up Kronos and takes the golden fleece, and he just goes back into his weird thing. And then they just bring the golden fleece back.
Ever after.
Exactly, they bring it back to the thing, and
they already beat Kronos. So, well,
yeah.
What else is there to worry about?
Kronos gets thrown back in, and Luke just casually pops back up.
I wonder what their plan was for if they did get greenlit for another movie. If they were like,
I think the plan was to make it into a trilogy and just end it there.
If they were like, what do you mean we have to make Kronos come back again?
That's what I mean.
Is he just gonna be the forever returning guy?
It made no sense from.
He's like Voldemort, where you're like, I fought Voldemort. Oh,
just kidding.
I fought another Voldemort.
Yeah, Kronos is back again.
Oh, now I'm fighting Voldemort's little rat follower.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, Voldemort's back.
Yeah, he's back again.
And he's back again.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not good. Like, especially if you've read the book and you've watched the show, like, you're not gonna like the adaptation. But like you said, if you haven't seen either, then the movie's a grand old time. It's a good little young adult action film of the late 2000s.
That's the thing you have to remember. What's better, that or Sky High?
Don't diss Sky High. I love Sky High.
I said which is better.
It's Sky High.
But you can't say you're saying it based off of your love for the book. If you're just looking at them as straight action films, which is better?
I don't know. Sky High is such a good film in my head from like nostalgia. I think that's
Sky High is epic.
Like, and it's like Kurt Russell's in it, Mary Kate Winslet's in it.
It's like My Hero before My Hero.
Literally though, it's literally American My Hero Academia. Yeah, it's such a fun. We have Danielle Panabaker in it.
Oh, there's a ton of people.
Like, there's some really good cast members in it. It's got some fun lines and stuff too. You know,
so very cliche nowadays. If you were to like go back, you'd like be able to predict every single thing that happens in Sky High. But overall, that was a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah. So in conclusion, Sky High better than Sea of Monsters, hands down.
The movie,
yes.
And here we are talking about the TV show. Overall, I'd say 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, solid.
I think there's definitely still room for improvement. I would love to see the budget go higher as we get further through the series.
I think it will.
But I'm excited for season 3 this year, and we will definitely be checking it out here on the podcast. So if you like Percy Jackson, make sure to drop a subscription down below, the button there.
Make sure you like this episode.
Yep.
Because why not?
And rate it if you're listening on podcast, make sure to rate it. Give us a little comment saying how good it is or bad, whatever.
Exactly.
I'm sure that helps too.
We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Help us reach that goal this year, because that's the plan.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Woo woo.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you, and see you next week.